So good morning everybody, it's a Wednesday morning, it is 7 AM in the morning, early ride, and guess what, it's literally just stopped raining, so time for another test ride. We're out on this today. This is the AJS Modena in red and white, and we will have a look at this in a minute. So a little bit about the bike. Now we have a lot of these in at the moment. These seem to be the very in retro scooter at the moment. Now this is a great little scooter to ride. If you're into AJS, then obviously the old retro name, the Modena is the one to get. There are a load of different versions out done by other dealers, but this is probably one of the better ones. Reason being that the plastics are a lot stronger, they're not flimsy and creak around all the time. As with any, obviously, plastic fed bike, you are going to get a little bit of squeak from the panels. Where cables obviously turning the steering, nothing there, makes a change. Normally, on the other versions, you go and turn, all you can hear is creak, creak, creak. Really solid plastics on these are really good, and it's decked out. You've got the chrome buttons to either side, chrome levers, chrome mirrors. There's a lot of chrome up the top end, and you've got the basic controls, a horn, indicator, main beam, dip beam. Over on this side, the start button and the hazard button, that is all you need. Your display on this, you've got K's on the outside again, and your miles an hour on the inside. We're away. Oh, in fact, it's the other way round on these ones. So miles an hour on the outside, K's to the inside. A little bit easier to read, so miles on the outside, K's on the inside. And you've got those chrome reservoir covers as well. Really does look good. Now the headlight on this is actually quite good in the dark. We took one of these out at night, and it's not like a candle in the wind where you can't see where you're going. It does actually project a decent beam onto the road, which makes a change for some of these 125s that you go out and it's got like a 35 watt headlight bulb in it. This one actually is pretty darn good. So they've got the actual lens on this really good for projecting a beam. Makes a change. Can't fault it, and I have ridden quite a few of these now and really enjoyed getting out on them. Up on your display as well, your indicators, main beam and engine management light, and of course the fuel gauge on the right hand side. Nice big odometer. We're going to go in here. As always, the fishermen are out. We're going to go down the end of RB Bridge, and then we're going to go and terrorise Simpson again. Right, so let's pull up on this and let's have a look. Now this has a side stand and a main stand. Main stand, very easy, just get your foot down there, feel for the peg, foot down, little lift on the bar, job done. Let's get the visor up so I can talk to you for a minute. Now this is the red and white version, and it's got the black and white checkering down the side. You've got the aluminium tread plates. Yes, it does look dirty, but I do need to clean it when I get back. Chrome trims down the front, around the disc brakes and that front suspension leg, and you've got a decent sized disc brake on it. And then down there, that side, that is your speedo sender, LED indicators to the front, and just check that out, look, it's all LED at the front. So you're going to get a decent beam off of that LED compared to a bulbed headlight. Now, the one thing that we did think, this on the other models used to be just access to the engine. This actually has a little storage container under there, and it's big enough to fit your gloves, your cleaning bits. Finished off with a little silencer with the chrome trim on it. Rear rack, front rack. Seat is super comfy, and you got that front rack as well. Now this does fold down, or you can have it up, and the same with the back one. You can lift it up, lock it in, becomes a backrest and a decent sized grab handle for your pillion passenger. And then just under the seat you've not got much storage, but I will show you anyway. So let's pop the seat up. Always make sure you take the key out, and you've got a little bit of storage under there, enough for like a chain, disc lock, and it does tell you E5 petrol only, and very easy just to lock that back down. So let's get the key back in, let's get it restarted up. Look at that, fire's on the button, and let's go and put some mileage on the bike. Now, as always, because of all the roadworks, we are doing ride route number 3, which is going to be Simpson Village, down the stadium and around Bletchley town centre. And as always, 45 mile an hour, now obviously 30 through the village, but very easy to read that speedo. And even in the dark, the backlighting on the display is exceptionally good. You're not straining to see what is going on like other displays that you get on other bikes. So far, faultless. Now, one finger braking. I tend to use just the one finger there, unless I require a bit more and then reach out with a hand. But one finger braking on this off the rear is very, very good. Brakes on this are very effective. There's not much more you can say about these Modenas. They do look very retro. The only thing that I'm missing obviously is an open face helmet with the big old RAF logo, the old 3 circles on it, and a parker. But I have got my new bike boots on today. We'll go to town. I'm expecting another set from Peaky. He's got me a set of Altbergs, but I've got my old army boots on. I've managed to dig them out, and yes, they do still fit me. And my other pair ended up getting covered in oil and petrol the other day, so they went in the bin, and I've dug my old army boots out. And you can't beat a decent pair of army hiking boots. Now, if you are out on a bike, and while we're test riding this bike, I am going to tell you about what you should be buying if you buy yourself a scooter or a motorcycle. Bare minimum should be a decent helmet, a jacket and a pair of gloves, and some decent foot protection. So if you are buying a bike, budget around about £200–250. You can get a helmet for around about 60 to 80 quid, depending on what you want, but just make sure it's got either a BS or an ECE logo on it. Don't go buying anything off of Amazon that says, oh, this is a all singing, all dancing helmet, it's the latest copy of. Yeah, copy should be dinging your brain cells and thinking, no, I don't want that. You want to have a decent helmet, you've got one brain, and protect it to the best of your ability. And obviously if you can afford a decent helmet, something like a Shoei, an RI, AVG, go and get one of those. But it will offer the same protection as your 50–60 quid helmet, but probably lose on the comfort and the wind noise. Just obviously check the sharp rating, and you can do that online. Just go and check sharp rating of a helmet, put the helmet in, go to the sharp rating site, and they will tell you what the rating of the helmet is and if it is suitable for you. Decent gloves should have some palm protection. Don't go buying another cheap set. Now, I've been using these summer gloves for absolutely ages. I have got my nice Kawasaki ones at home, but these ones do the job, and they're double stitched on the palms. There we go. Got an extra layer of padding on the palms. Simple reason being, you go and jump off your bike or fall off your bike, first thing you're going to do is put your hands down. So you want some decent palm protection. Now luckily these things, although they're thin, have a Kevlar mesh layer through them, and Kevlar is great. It's got like a micro mesh in there, it's like a steely Kevlar micro mesh in there, but it does offer a decent level of protection. These gloves cost me 45 quid, so that's a quarter of my budget gone. Helmet you're going to spend 60 quid, so that's your first £100 gone. Decent jacket, get yourself a textile jacket. Or if you can't afford a textile, get yourself a decent one that has got some elbow, back and shoulder armour in it. Excuse me. You can get a decent jacket these days for around about 100 quid. Decent textile jacket around about 100 quid. Some do a little bit cheaper, but make sure it's got the CE armour in it. As for your boots, don't go out with trainers, shoes on a bike. First thing that's going to go is your ankle. So, decent pair of hiking boots, or your local army surplus store. Get yourself a pair of army boots with the big old laces up the front. Make sure they're high up the ankle. You can pick a pair of them up for about 20 quid. Cheap as chips. They are the things that are going to do the business. Right, we are going to go around town for a little ride. And coming in on front and rear brakes, obviously wet day, rear brake only. Now this has the combined, so it will pull you down on both wheels. Steer clear of that front brake in wet weather. As I say, wet day, dry day. But if you are obviously on a wet day, just back it up. If you do need to stop a little bit more, make sure you're in a straight line and you can apply the front brake. Right, we are going this way around the town and then back to the garage for a cup of the obligatory coffee. So, 4.5 miles on the bike, a little bit more to do. But that is what you should be getting if you are getting yourself a bike. Don't go out in a pair of tracksuit bottoms, tracksuit top and your trainers, because if you do dump, and there are going to be two types of bikers, those that have dropped the bike and those that have yet to drop their bike. And believe me, I've dropped a few bikes in my time. Everybody has an off every now and then, even the best riders. And it doesn't matter if you're on a 50 or a whacking great big 1400 or higher. You do need to get yourself a level of protection. Obviously the bigger the bike, the more protection you're going to need to protect yourself if you do have an off. And not everybody would like to have a pair of one-piece levers on a 125. So a decent textile jacket, heavy trousers, but the bare minimum, at least a jacket, helmet, gloves and boots. The trousers can come at a later date. Decent pair of jeans will offer a little bit of protection, but not a lot. And it looks decided, the roads are just looking really shiny at the moment. But with these indicators on this bike, it is very easy to see where, tell other motorists where you are going. Now obviously I'm on new tyres, so we're taking it easy for a little while until we get them scrubbed in nicely. And we will try a couple of speed bumps in a minute. We'll get rid of these horrible little ones that we've got down here that offer absolutely no excuse for slowing down, because you can go straight over the top of them. Unless of course you've got a low slung car and you've got to put one wheel up to get your under tray over. So we're heading off back round the town. So as an urban commuter, this is a great little scooter. You've got the two racks, so you can bundle a couple of bags on there, have your bit of shopping on there, or your kit bag for school. Tie your rucksack down on the back rack. So for actual economy and all of everything, it's just an all singing, all dancing retro scooter. And these are only around about the 2.5 grand mark as well, which is really good. And obviously twist and go, being a scoot, makes it very easy just to hit a bit of throttle over a big speed bump. There we go. And I would say suspension on this is mid to firm. Yep, mid to firm. So there we go. But the seat soaks it up, so you're not being bounced around like you are on other models. Great little bike, absolutely great little bike, this one. Obviously on a longer run you can open it up once you run it in 45 mile an hour, or 40 to 45 for the first 500 miles, have a service, and then you're anywhere between 2,500 and 3,000 miles, 6 months for your next service. They do vary from dealer to dealer, or model to model should I say. So for instance the Lexmotos are every 3,000, some of the WKs are every 2.5. So obviously do check your service handbook when you get it to check your mileage, but for the first 500 you should be taking it easy. It's a new bike, it's a brand new engine. Take your time on it, let it wear itself in, and you will get the longevity out of the bike. If you're just going to rag the thing around, it's not going to last you. Nothing worse than big horrible puddles everywhere. So we have 6 miles on the bike, almost done. A few more to rack up. One more time down the dual carriageway, down to the end, turn round, come back, and then up the street to the garage. That should put the obligatory 10 on the bike. Now we ride test every bike and try and get at least 10 miles on every bike. Sometimes it's 9.7, but at least you know for the first half an hour of riding a bike what it is going to do. Is it going to pack up? Is it going to behave? Are you going to find any issues with the bike? And that is the reason we do such a long test ride. And last year out of 100, I think it was 140 bikes, we had one back, and that was simple reason that the guy decided to go and have a fiddle with the wiring to try and wire in air horns. Didn't work for him, and ended up putting all the connectors back in the wrong places. So obviously brought it into us, we sorted it out in about 10 minutes, but if you don't know what you're doing, don't mess. If you don't know how to service, don't attempt it. Get it to the dealer. For the sake of 100 quid, is it really worth messing your bike up instead of paying for a service? So that is what we always say. If you don't know what you're doing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Leave it alone. Do that and it will give you ample days of fun. And then you get the people go, oh yes, but Chinese bikes, they rot quicker than Japanese bikes. Some do, some don't. It depends. Oh, little Honda C90. Haven't seen one of those in a while. They are very rare. Oh, loads of gravel, look at that, everywhere. Lovely. Quickest thing to have someone off. So, this is the Modena. We're following that little C90 now, and it's one of the new versions. Little top box on it. And he's obviously taking his time in the wet weather. No L plate, so he's obviously got, it's either a 50 or he's got a full licence. Check that mirror, let the car pass, we're going back round the dual carriageway. Shoulder check as always, the obligatory shoulder check. Good rider, indicates early. Well done. So as I was saying, do Chinese bikes rust as much as the Japanese versions? Some do, some don't. It all depends of the level of protection that you put on them. Now every bike that comes to us, before it goes out, has a coat of ACF 50, and everyone's like, what is ACF 50? You keep banging on about it in all your videos. ACF 50 is a very good product that will stop and inhibit corrosion on a bike. So, comes in a purpley coloured can. What I tend to do is spray some into a paint pot lid and apply it with a very fine brush on all the bolt heads, the stuff that I can't get to. So ACF all your bolts. I then tend to spray it all over a microfiber. So that is one of the big microfiber cloths. Get the cloth nice and wet and just literally paint the entire bike. It includes the panels. Steer clear of brake discs and tyres and brake pads, but you can apply it absolutely everywhere, and I put it on panels as well. Simple reason being, it stops the dirt sticking to your bike. God, that sun is low. Down with the sun visor. And then I tend to just buff it off with a dry microfiber cloth or a microfiber towel. So it's very, very easy to do. The ACF 50 will give you that level of protection that you require to keep your rust and all your other stuff at bay. So that is a simple reason why we ACF absolutely everything. Now, should do it at least every other week. I tend to do my bike if I'm out riding. I do my bike once a week, and not a spot of rust on my bike. And obviously one of our riders, MT Belly, he has the Michigan. Now his Michigan is absolutely spotless because he ACFs it all the time, and it sits in the front garden as well under a cover. He's had it about 2-3 years and it is absolutely spotless, no rust. So ACF 50, very, very good product. Get yourself a tin. And I'm not sponsored by them either, although I should be for the amount of ACF that I use on all the bikes. So we're heading back to the garage. Cup of coffee time. And we have, as I said, 9.1 on the bike. Good for me. So jobs are good. Phil should be in by now, and hopefully he's started putting my bikes out. Otherwise it's going to be left down to me to do the job. So hopefully he's helped me out, unless of course he's buried himself under a car doing his jobs from yesterday. We shall see. Yep, so he started putting the bikes out. Good old Phil. Right, so we're back on the yard. Modena test ridden. So if you enjoyed the video, like, share, comment, subscribe, let us know what you think. Until the next time though, be well, ride safe, and from RB, it's a big goodbye from me.